like it's working now. So let me give it a moment for people to join on in. Let's give it a couple minutes here. Well, good morning to those of you joining. Sorry, had some technical difficulties here. Guess reminded in this moment everything is in right and divine order for whatever reason that needed to happen. So let's just trust that it's all where it needs to be. And let's just give it maybe another half minute, and we'll start the meditation here. Okay, let's go ahead and get going. Sorry for the delay. Had a technical glitch. For some reason, I lost internet at Mom's here, so I had to plug the Ethernet cable into the computer. Now it seems to be working fine. So people can join in whenever they want to, but right now, let's meditate. Thanks for joining. So whatever you're sitting on, lying on, just allowing your body to be completely supported and just allowing it to relax in this moment. And then just taking a nice deep breath in and just letting go of any stress, any worries that you have. And letting go of anything of the past and everything, just everything of the past. Sometimes people carry their baggage for their whole lifetimes, never experiencing the truth of who they are. Right now, I'm inviting you to just really let go of all the shame, the guilt, the blame of yourself, blame of others. And if you want to pick any of this up after the meditation, feel free to do so. I don't think anybody else wants to pick up anything that you have, so you're not going to have to worry about anybody taking it. But right now, at least for this meditation, just let go of everything, all your blame, the judgments, the fears, just empty it all out, at least for a moment even. Most people carry their stuff and never really experience the innocence and the emptiness of who we are, the freedom of who we are. Freedom that is beyond any fears or judgments of ourselves or anyone else. And most of you have heard me say this before. Stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. Stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. What if we just completely accepted life as it is? And the mind might say, well, no, there's so many things I don't like about life. What if those things that we said we didn't like were exactly what we needed to heal and grow, to awaken to the truth that we already are? And I would say, not only do people spend a lifetime not recognizing who they are. They spend a lifetime fighting against, trying to get rid of, and struggling with these things that they're judging, waiting for those things to change rather than letting them go and emptying themselves out back to the innocence and freedom of who they are. So right now, I just invite you just to open up your heart, open up your mind, and at least for this meditation, just opening up to the infinite possibilities that are here right now in this moment. My teacher, Sadashiva, has said that there is not one single hair out of place in the universe. What if everything is exactly the way it needs to be? And some people say, let thy will be my will. They connect with God and they give over their will to align with God's, which is a beautiful, beautiful act. But then when God brings something that they don't like, they say, let God's will be my will, except for this. This isn't right. God, you messed up in some way. God, the universe, Jesus, Buddha, whatever calls to you. I use the name God. But if God, if this ultimate source is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, all-seeing, do we really think that there are mistakes made along the way? And your mind might say, yes, I do think there's mistakes made along the way. But does the mind know more than God? Do we think that we have all the answers? And when I say we have all the answers, it's not even you. It's the mind convincing you of all the stories and self-images that you've collected along the way to say, this is who I am. Is it? What's beyond all those fears and judgments and blame? What happens when we empty all the past out? What's left? Are you really only some story or belief of who you think you are? And what happens when this body passes, that happens to all of us someday? Do we lose all of our intelligence, all of our memory that comes from this so-called part of who we are, the mind? The mind has convinced us for so long of all these things that we have thought ourselves to be. I'm inviting you right now to just let go of all the stories and self-images that you believe yourself to be. And for most, to be honest with you, when people empty out all these stories, many for the first time ever see that they had no idea of who they truly are. Just a bunch of stories and beliefs that they've accumulated over the years that has painted this picture. And quite honestly, most of the pictures that were painted by the mind are not good. I'm not enough, I'm too mean, I should do this, I should do that. And so we're caught in this world of suffering and stress because we're wanting life to be different than what it is, because our mind has convinced us that it knows better than God. And that's why I'm inviting you right now just to let go of all those stories just for a moment, just for a brief moment. Let go of all those stories and see what the emptiness feels like when your mind is quiet. One of my favorite verses of the Bible, be still and know that I am God. But we have about 60,000 to 120,000 thoughts every single day. How can you possibly know God? How can you possibly know yourself when your mind is so busy running amok, trying to convince you of all these things that you are not? And so I'm going to invite you to let go of some things that perhaps block you from recognizing the very truth of who you are right now in this moment. And I know the mind says, oh, come on, you're telling me that I am peace and joy and love right now in this moment? Yes, I am actually telling you that. But I'm not trying to persuade you or convince you of anything. You don't have to believe one single thing that I say. I am, however, inviting you to let go of these old descriptions of who you think you are so that you can experience something deeper. So right now, and this is not always an easy one, it's very hard for some people, I'm inviting you to give all your control over to God. Just let go of all of it. Let go of all control, at least for this meditation. And again, if you feel like you need to be in control or it feels too scary for you, after the meditation, just pick it back up. It's okay. But just for this moment, I'm inviting you to let go of all control. You can be out of control. And I know people say, I don't want to be out of control, or people might say it as a negative, you're so out of control. Who is out of control? Is it you, or is it an idea of who you think you are? Are you happy? Do you feel the peace, the joy, and the love of who you are? Because if you don't, then the next question has to be, what is blocking me from recognizing that truth right now? So the mind can conjure up any stories, no, I'm not going to let go of this isn't right, and have all of its opinions of what it thinks it knows is the truth. But if we know we're not happy now, surely something else has to be different. And yes, the mind can provide temporary moments of peace or happiness or love even, but they're only temporary states. What is that joy, that love, that peace that is sustaining, that is eternal? Do you only want glimpses of happiness and peace? Or do you want the whole enchilada, the whole shebang, whatever you want to call it? Do you want it all? Do you want to experience not only the bliss of life, but the bliss of God itself? Sometimes I work with clients and I ask them if they have a life goal. And most of them never do. Most people never do. But the truth is, when we declare to God, to life, to the universe, something that we want out of life, maybe it's just we want to be at peace at all times. Maybe we want to be in our heart, to experience love at all times. Maybe we just, ultimately, we're all hardwired to be happy. Every single person. The person that you would judge as the most evil person on this planet still wants to be happy. They just don't know how to experience it, how to get there. So my question to you is, what is that thing for you that when you die, that you have attained this goal, this life goal? Again, maybe it's peace, happiness, love, God. I'm not talking about anything external, though. The mind might say, well, when I get more money, then I'll be happy. When I get the right relationship, then I'll be happy. When I get the right job, then I'll be happy. I invite you right now to let go of the waiting for life to give you something that is already here. It's already here. Again, you don't have to believe me on this. I'm just inviting you to empty out all the things that block you from recognizing that peace, joy, and love are the truth of who you are. So right now, I'm just inviting you just to be conscious and aware of your breath. And you'll notice that the breath happens all by itself. It doesn't need any assistance. Which is why in mindfulness meditation, we use the breath, because we want to use something, some tool that will help you to come back to being aware, just being a witness to your thoughts, a witness to your breath, a witness to life itself. That's what awareness is. So we use the breath because there's nothing to judge about the breath. We're just watching it. There's no trying, there's no doing, there's no effort. Nor is there any trying, doing, or effort needed for this meditation. All that's required is simply to be aware. That's all. And perhaps you've heard the phrase, we're not human doings, we're human beings. Beingness is that awareness, not needing to do one single thing. It doesn't mean we can't take action, but the action that arises out of our pure beingness, our pure stillness, is divine action, inspired action. And we see most of the world taking action, but not from a place of the stillness within, but rather out of a place of fear or control or something where they think, I need to take this action because I don't like how this is going. Ram Dass beautifully put it when he said, accept everything about your life as it is, and then take action after the acceptance. Let's just explore with that just for a moment. If you were to embrace and accept all of your life, everything that God has given you right now in this moment, there could be nothing left but peace. Is that true? If you accepted everything about your life right now in this moment, you say, well, I see, I want this different, I want that different, and this should be this way here. I'm just saying, if you accepted all those things that you're trying to get rid of, you're fighting against, you're struggling against, and you just accepted it, that this is exactly what God is needing to bring you to awaken you to the truth of who you are, there's only peace that's left. That's all. Maybe you're going through some struggle, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is. I'm inviting you right now just to completely give that over to God. And sometimes when I notice I'm fighting something out of life, I say to God, I see that I'm fighting this, I see that I'm struggling, and I see that I'm having stress and I'm suffering right now because of this. I don't want the stress. I don't want the suffering. So, Father, I'm surrendering this over to you. And if you want me to experience this, or however long you want me to experience this, I'm not going to resist or fight this one single moment more. I want to be at peace with it. And your mind might say, no, I don't like it. Can you simply notice that thought, what the mind is saying? And are you that thought? Are you that thought? Because if you are that thought, I would like to ask you, who is the one that is aware of that thought? You see, because nothing can be experienced without awareness, without consciousness. Because if you weren't conscious or aware of the thought, I don't like this situation, then that thought could not exist. There has to be some kind of consciousness, some kind of awareness, so that we're able to notice that thought or any thought. There has to be some kind of conscious awareness to anything that we experience, because if we're not conscious or aware of it, how would we even know that it exists? So again, I ask you, are you your thoughts? Are you your mind? Because if you are, who is the one that is aware of that? You have the thought, I wish this situation was different. So if you're that thought, who is the one that is aware of the thought? The thoughts will come and go. The beliefs will change. Your feelings will come and go. And even this body and this physical mind will someday leave us. If we believe that there is something beyond this life, we have to look beyond this physical body, do we not? Because if you are looking to your mind for your intelligence, if you are looking to your mind for your memories, what happens when the mind dies? What is left? What is left is the freedom, the emptiness, our soul that is beyond any physical form. It has to be, does it not? Because if we are the physical, then when the body dies, then we would die as well. But we are eternal beings. Now, again, I'm not asking you to believe anything that I say. I'm just inviting you to so fully empty out all your beliefs, all the stories, all the ideas, all the concepts, so that the only thing that is left is the one thing you can never get rid of, and that is you. The pure, eternal, formless self. The non-physical self. The one who is conscious and aware of all of life. So again, I invite you just to be conscious and aware of your breath. Just notice it. How it gently flows in and it gently flows out without any effort, without any doingness required. And when we're observing the breath, when we're observing anything, the mind will generally get busy, because the mind thinks it knows better than what God does, than what our true self does. And so it will get busy trying to figure out how to be happy, trying to figure out how to have the best meditation possible, trying to figure out how to be at peace, trying to figure out how to still the mind. I'm inviting you to let go of all that. There's no trying that is necessary for this meditation, nor is there trying necessary for life itself. Why? Because if we are flowing with life, flowing with God, and not resisting what God is bringing us, the trying and the effort falls away. There becomes this easy flow with life. And that is who you are. The one that is conscious and aware of life and not fighting or resisting any of it. So I invite you right now just again to become conscious and aware of your breath. This brings you back to the present moment. The present moment is that place where there is no judgment, there is no past, and there is no future. It's only this present moment. The past has already happened, and what we call the future is simply another present moment. This present moment right now, and now, and now, and now, is what we used to call the future. But the future is just another present moment. And I say that because there is no sense worrying about anything of the future, because that is just a fear of the unknown is all that is. But when you embrace the mystery of life and have trust and faith that life and God are always bringing you exactly what you need and exactly when you need it, you don't need to worry about the future. You can have trust and faith that you are well taken care of. And you can have trust and faith that everything, even the things that our mind would judge, everything is here to help us to remember and awaken to the very truth of who we are. And so I invite you again just to come back to the present moment and back home to who you are, the one who is just simply witnessing the breath. No need for anything to be any different about life at all. You're just conscious and aware of the breath. And there is peace in this. Peace in just watching and observing without any need to fix or change anything, without any need to fix or change anything about yourself or others in your life or life itself. That is where peace resides. So as we're being conscious and aware of our breath, thoughts will come in. You don't need to worry about that. That is just the mind being busy, trying to figure out again how to be happy, how to get what it wants because it thinks it knows better than God. But you don't need to try to fight or still the mind in any way. Just notice the thought. If there's a thought, just notice it and allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by, because it is not who you are. You don't need to try to correct it or fix it or get rid of it or fight it or analyze it, because you are not it. It's just a thought, and it's just the mind being busy. And the Buddhists call this monkey mind, the chattering monkey, because you are not the monkey. You are not the monkey mind. And now, again, just coming back to being conscious and aware of the breath. And as the thoughts come in, you don't need to spend any time with them. Just allow them to pass on by and come back to being aware of your breath. And let's practice that right now. And if your mind has drifted, just gently and effortlessly come back to being aware of your breath. And again, just if you have any thoughts going, just gently and effortlessly let them pass on by. You don't need to make them bad or wrong or fight them in any way. No matter how bad the thought is, how bad our mind thinks it is, there can be peace with any thought, any feeling that arises, because they are not who we are. We're the witness of those thoughts, those feelings. Just witness them without needing to fix or change them at all. And as soon as you witness them, just come back to being a witness of the breath. And again, if your mind has drifted, just come back to being aware of the breath, which again brings you back to the present moment, back home to who you are, the one who is aware of the thoughts, the one who is aware of the breath, the one who is aware of your feelings, the one who is aware of your experiences, the one who is aware of your five senses. You are the one that is conscious and aware of it all, without any physical form whatsoever. And then again, just being conscious and aware of your breath. Once again, just coming back to being aware of your breath. Just coming back to being aware of your breath again. And if you're open for it, if you have any resistance to life at all in this moment, just giving it over to God or whatever your higher source is, just letting it go. And I invite you just to fully surrender into this moment, fully surrender into life, and just fully surrender into God itself. And then just come back to being aware of your breath. going to begin to bring this meditation to completion. So for those of you who would like to continue meditating, please either mute or turn your device off. And thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. For those of you finishing with me, just taking in a nice deep breath. And just really re-energizing your physical body that helps you to get you around in this life, and maybe wiggling your fingers, your toes, doing a little stretching, and taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. And I'm just going to take a peek over here on Facebook. If anybody has any comments or questions or anything, you're welcome to post them here. Or if you want to reveal who you are, some people don't like to, so whatever you want to do is great. I might be a little stuck on this right now. I can't see, so I'm going to right now go over to YouTube, and actually I'm okay there. So okay, well, I don't see any names, but I think my system might be locked up a little bit here. So thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see, it's Friday, so 10 o'clock tomorrow morning if you'd like to join me. Thanks. Hope you have a beautiful day. Namaste.
Our lake was getting restless.
Oh, yeah?